Hello, YouTube. All right, it's been a while since we did a Talking Head episode, so I thought I'd do one post Hurricane Ian, which has just left Florida. This is Friday. It feels like a Monday after this crazy week with the hurricane, but this is Friday, September 30th, as I'm making this right now. I just got off work. The temperature outside right now is 79 degrees, which is about 20 degrees cooler than normal. What was interesting was the hurricane. You know, before the hurricane came, the temperature here was in the upper 90s, like close to 100. It was like 98, 99 degrees. And right after the hurricane passed, temperature dropped down to the 60s, like 65, 67. This morning, the temperature was like 65, 66 degrees in the morning, and now it is about 1 p.m. and the temperature is 79, 78, 79 degrees. So really nice, and the sky is clear. Only a few tiny little clouds in the sky, because I think all the water vapor got pulled with the hurricane. As far as Brevard County, where I am, we didn't really get much here other than a tropical storm with some wind. There was some wind, gusts of like maybe up to 35, 45 miles per hour, I think. And I had a tree branch break into the neighbor's yard. Other than that, I didn't even really get flooding. But I've heard of other people around here in Brevard County that lost electrical power, and their yards flooded, or and they have down trees all over the place. I see a couple trees on the side of the road here that are down. Maybe we'll do a driving episode here later today or tomorrow and show some of the damages around Brevard County. But like I said, we hardly got anything. When the hurricane made landfall, it hit southwest Florida, and that area is decimated. I am so saddened and worried about those people over there. There are people on barrier islands over there that have been cut off because the causeway, which is what they call those bridges that connect the mainland of Florida to the barrier islands, one of them is like completely broken and they can't get back out. So they're on their own if they stayed. I think one of the things that has happened in Florida recently, over the last 7 to 10 years, is because we haven't had any major catastrophic hurricanes like this, like Ian, is people start to become a little bit complacent, because the news tends to overhype the damages from the hurricane and everything to scare everybody. And this hurricane here, people did need to be scared. It ended up making landfall as a Category 4, only 5 miles per hour lower than becoming Category 5. So I think it hit like landfall at like 170, 175 miles per hour, which was enough to blow down like brick buildings, cement, concrete block buildings, metal frames and wood and stuff. But all of that was destroyed. And not only that, it carried so much water. It forced a huge storm surge of, I think they were saying, upwards of 18 feet. So imagine more than 2 stories high of water coming at you. So it hit, of course it hit and took out houses and roadways and streets, it's washed away, and even bridges. And those bridges are like concrete and metal, they're big causeways. They're like 4 lanes or more. So devastating for the West Coast. I am thinking of Faith Walker Todd. If you're listening to this, you hear my thoughts and prayers, you and your family. I hope you guys are safe. Let me know if you're safe. He had been in contact right before it landfall, I think. And Faith Walker Todd and his family reside over there on that coast near the area of impact. And for everyone else that's listening, if you're able to watch this video, a lot of people who are heavily affected are probably without power and internet and may not get this message. But if you have a generator and you're running generators, make sure that you have adequate ventilation and you have a carbon monoxide detector. Carbon monoxide detector can save your life. Every year I keep hearing about people dying from carbon monoxide poisoning, either from running a vehicle, like in a garage, or even just sitting in their car and the exhaust blows up, or after a natural disaster like a hurricane or tornado or whatever, people hook up generators and run them inside the garage or near their house, even outside sometimes. And the carbon monoxide blows out, with the exhaust, but sometimes it gets sucked inside the house through the door cracks or the window cracks, or any little ventilation cracks, or just house, cracks in your house. So it's important, if you run a generator, that you try to run it. I don't think you should ever run it inside a garage. That's kind of asking for trouble. But if you run it even outside, make sure it's not near a window or something where it could blow in the carbon monoxide. And have carbon monoxide detectors all over the place, and check their batteries at least once every 6 months or a year. Make sure that it will actually work. I've had incidences where the carbon monoxide detector in my van when I was living in it went off, and it wasn't from me, it was from the vehicle parked next to me running their engine. So, you think a car is pretty sealed, but it's not. There's little cracks and stuff, and carbon monoxide can get in. So, get a carbon monoxide detector, and make sure you have batteries and stuff for it, and that, you have that mounted if you're running generators. And if you don't have a carbon monoxide detector right now, can't get access to one, make sure that your generator is far away from the house as far as possible, and that no fumes or anything can blow into your house, whether it's through a window crack or a door crack, or even through the wood or the floor or whatever, because it can come in. And carbon monoxide does not have, as far as I know, doesn't have any smell really. It's like silent. When you smell the burning stuff from the car, the exhaust, it's car exhaust, but that's not the carbon monoxide. So carbon monoxide I don't think has any smell or anything. But you one of the symptoms of getting poisoned by carbon monoxide is you start getting sleepy. So if you find yourself suddenly getting sleepy and the car is running, or the generator is running, you may have carbon monoxide. So you might want to air out your house, like open all the windows and doors and stuff and let air blow through. See if that wakes you up. But usually it happens while people are sleeping and they're running the carbon monoxide. They're running the air conditioning through the generator. So just be extremely careful of that. As I drive through Brevard County right now on my way home, I don't really see too much damage. When I went to work this morning, what was interesting was, the first thing was the temperature. It was like 20-25 degrees colder than normal. So apparently the hurricane pulled all the hot air away and brought in a bunch of cold air. It was cold. It's nice actually right now. Nice outside. Feels like spring. So that's the first thing I noticed. The second thing was there were leaves and branches and stuff, all over the roadways. And for some reason they had all the street lights were all off, but the house lights, were on. So in our neighborhood, the houses didn't lose power, but the street lights, the lights on that they have alongside the roads, those were all turned off. So I don't know if they did that on purpose, or if the power for that is out for some reason, but they managed to keep the grid on for the housing. As I look around the neighborhood, off US 1 here, as I drive by, I see there are some miniature lakes. And, I saw where the forest where there were some trees that had fallen. So the wind was strong enough to knock down trees. I know it was strong enough to break a huge tree branch in my backyard. But from what I can tell right now, just my drive home, I don't really see any major damage. Just, down trees. Lots of new lakes or ponds in front of houses. And my work facility had new lakes, new ponds, lakes. They were kind of large. But I can see the water has drained down quite a bit. So the ditches are overflowing, but going down. So maybe later today, depending on how things go, I may go for a ride, and I'll take you guys along with me if you're interested in seeing what it looks like. We might try to hit the river. I heard that the river that we have here, the Banana River and the Indian River, they were not even behaving like rivers, but behaving like the ocean, with waves coming up and striking the side and splashing and making a big, huge thing like it was an ocean. Normally the river, usually you don't have waves. You don't have like more than 6 or 8 inches for your waves. River tends to be not huge waves where you could surf on it or something. But during the hurricane, I guess because the wind was so strong, it was actually pushing up, making real waves on the rivers. I didn't go out and look during the whole time that I was locked in from Wednesday to Thursday. I pretty much stayed inside the house because the wind was starting to pick up and it was going on and off, and I figured power lines can fall, trees can fly, even though by the time it got here it was just a tropical storm. It was below a hurricane level 1, so it wasn't too bad, but still you were getting gusts of winds of 35, 40 miles an hour, 45 miles an hour. Enough to blow your car off the bridge or something while you're trying to travel over the causeway. So this weekend I will be cleaning up, obviously, around the house, trying to pick up all the pieces, the branches and stuff, and trimming all the stuff and just trying to get debris and stuff hauled off. But I think as far as Brevard County where I am, we were spared. Those people on the West Coast, I am so sad and really worried about them, because there are people totally cut off right now. They are on the little barrier islands, and I think the next time they have an evacuation, mandatory evacuation, I think more people will heed it, because the people who didn't heed it right now are the ones that are stuck. And I know some people get angry at those people who don't heed it, but you got to understand that sometimes the evacuations cause more trouble than help. Like some older folks, especially those with medical conditions, when you move them, sometimes they get complications and they can even die from the evacuation. Just trying to get away from danger, they end up dying. And there's traffic jams and things that can happen while you're trying to evacuate. So a lot of people, if they've been in Florida any length of time and have gone through a bunch of hurricanes, after a while they feel like they don't want to evacuate. And up until Hurricane Ian, it never was a devastating consequence. But with Hurricane Ian, if you guys have seen the images and stuff that I saw, I think we lost quite a lot of people. So hopefully people will keep this in mind, and the next time there's an evacuation, they will leave. But like I say, some people will still stay. And I think it should be their right and their choice. And people shouldn't, I know people get angry at them if they need to be rescued. But people make their own decisions for whatever reason, because sometimes evacuation may be more dangerous. And some people, figure, it's their home, it's their life, and they, if they die, they die. I hope that everyone that's listening to this is safe, and that if you were along the path, that everything will go smoothly for you as far as recovery. That the state will step in and quickly, get things back on task, and that the national government will come in, FEMA and whatnot, and get everybody back on task. Like I said, Brevard County, where I am, we were very fortunate. And for those who were not as fortunate, you are in my thoughts and prayers. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye now.